Are pine cones good fire starters? And if so, how good? We're going to talk about it today. Are they good for firewood in general? Should you burn them? Can you burn them? How good do they burn? We're going to talk about it right now, and we're going to show you how good they burn. Here we go. Look at this. Still burn. Blow on it, comes right back. It does not want to stop. Blew on it, just keeps burning. Because of the pitch that's in the cone, it just, not fast. Stomp it out. It landed on the ground there in my wife's plant. Hope she didn't see that. What we have here is a bunch of pine cones. I went for a little walk today. Actually, I go for a walk every day, and I picked these up on my walk because I knew they were there. There is white pine, there is red pine, and there is spruce. And well, that's actually black spruce, and this is white spruce. And then in here, these little bitty ones, this is balsam. It's from a balsam tree, and there's lots of them. I've got lots of cones here. I picked up a whole bunch of them today. I'm going to show you how each of these types burn, how fast they light, how good they burn, and then we're just going to pour them all in and make a big honking fire here in my little smokeless stove. So today I'm going to demonstrate the beauty of natural materials for burning. I did a video not too long ago showing you a bunch of different things from nature that you can use to start a fire. And pine cones was one of the items on the list. But there's a lot of kinds of pine cones, and there's a lot of things you can do with pine cones for fire starters. Now, a lot of people that I have seen will take a white pine cone or something of a bigger cone like this, or a white spruce cone, these bigger ones like this, and they'll dip them in paraffin or wax, or they'll stick them in like a Dixie cup with some wax, and they use them for fire starters. And that's all fine if you want to make something that's pretty and all that, but you really don't need to do that. They burn all by themselves just fine. And they burn plenty hot and plenty long enough to get a fire started. Now, what I like to do, and I've done this in the past, usually I will take one of the small size brown paper bags, like for a kid's lunch for going to school. All I had in the house were these little blue ones here, and basically fill it with some pine cones. Now in here, this is, gotta think here for a second. This is blue spruce in here. These are blue spruce in the blue bag. This is just a small little bag. There's a dozen in here. I counted out about a dozen. That's about what fits in there. And in this bag, in here, there's some balsam. You can see how little they are. There's some balsam cones. Now this is about 3 dozen. So a lot more fit in here. From my first experience with these, I can tell you that these burn very fast. They're very light, they're very open. They're not like a lot of other pine cones. In comparison, I will show you. Here's the 4 cones that I have today. This one right here is from a red pine. This one is from a balsam. This one is from a blue spruce. This is from a white pine. From my experience, the best ones are the end ones. This one is a much heavier, more dense, thicker. It's got more substance to it. It's got more weight to it. This is like a feather. There's nothing to it. This isn't far behind it. Light, not a lot to it. And then, of course, you got your white pine cone, which is pretty solid too. Open is what you want. Now when you're picking cones, if you're going to do this, my suggestion is take a couple buckets, because you're going to fill them pretty fast. The number one thing I can tell you is do not climb the tree to get the cones. Let the cones come to you. They're on the ground. Now, the big benefit of when they're on the ground is they are dry. They don't come off the tree until they are opened up. Once they're done growing, they open up to disperse the seeds, and then when the wind comes, these will rock back and forth and the cones will come down to the ground. When they're on the ground, they're going to be dry. Of course, unless it just rained a lot. But that's also the beauty of picking up cones underneath evergreen trees, pine trees, spruce trees, balsam trees, wherever you're going to get your cones from. If they're underneath the tree, because of the shade and the cover that the tree provides from rain, everything underneath it is generally dry. And that's why a lot of times I will get my small little pieces of kindling, the little bitty toothpick size stuff, and the branches underneath the tree at the bottom where you can grab handfuls and bust it up. But cones work just as good. Now, one thing about the white pines is you can see this white stuff on there. That is resin or sap, and that is why white pine cones are one of the best. That stuff burns fantastic. And no, it doesn't produce creosote. Moisture is what creates creosote, not sap. If any of you have ever bought wood that's called fat wood, which is wood that is basically where a branch connects to the tree, and you're going to have it, it's going to be very yellow and very resiny, very sappy, very sticky. That's the good stuff. So what I'm going to do is we're going to show you how each of these lights and how fast they burn. Now I'm going to show you these little bags and why these are so nice, because this in itself is a fire starter. You got the paper, you put it underneath, you light it, it goes up. You got all of those cones in there that are burning, and all your wood up on top will take off just fine. You do not need to have paraffin or wax or anything like that. These are very easy to find natural fire starters. And if you go pick yourself a couple buckets of cones and you put them into little lunch bags and just fold them over or tape them down, and you got a little bomb of fire here waiting to go off. And they start up really easily. They burn really nice and hot. We're going to show you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you with my little torch here. Try not to burn myself. So this is the blue spruce. We're going to give this one a try. And it should burn pretty good. Every time I've used these in the past, it burns. You can see the sap melting, starting to take off, or the resin, whatever you want to call it. But with the torch on it, it takes off pretty good. And then we got a little bit of flame, so I'll put that out. I'm going to go to the next one. The next one we're going to do is going to be a red pine cone. And the red pine cone I know burns really good. Try to get this where I'm not going to melt the camera here. Put that in on the tip. And again, I'm trying not to melt my fingers off. See, that one's going really good. These always burn really good. The red pine cones are way better. Put that one out, throw that one in. And next, again, I'm going to grab a white pine cone. You can see all the resin in there. This is like the first one we started. This side, not a lot of resin. This side, there's a lot here, but watch that. So the white pine is clearly the winner. And it takes right off, and as you can see, it just keeps burning. So white pine, by far the best, of what I've got anyway. I'm sure there's some kinds of pine cones you guys might have. You might have some lodgepole pine, or you might have some spruce or something that I don't have here. Oh, we got one other kind. I forgot this one. We're going to do this one next. This is the white spruce, not the black spruce. Let's see what this one does. I got a feeling this one will burn pretty good too. No, it's not taking off right away. It's not open all the way. This one was on the ground though, so I'm assuming it was pretty dry. It's not burning very good. It's burning, but not great. I'll try a different one here. I'm going to grab one that's more open in the back here. Let's try this one. Try the back side. Ooh, that's got crack-a-lacking going on there. It's sizzling and it's burning, but it's not like taking off like the white pine did. The white pine is by far the best. So there's that. Now let's start our little bags up here. We're going to start out with the blue spruce that's in this bag, and there's about a dozen in here. And I'm going to start this up. I'm going to put these cones right in and just leave that in. I'll start this up right in there. I think you guys can see from there pretty good. There we go. Bag is burning. Let's see if the cones take off there. They should. They usually do. I've done this before. Of course, this is a really thin bag, so it might not be as good as some of the other ones. Yeah, I can see the cones really aren't taking off all that well. That looks like a fail. But I'm pretty sure, well, there's a couple cones going down in there I can see now. Oh, there's one going over there now too. But again, that was a really thin bag, so there wasn't a lot there to really help it get started, but it's going. So there was the blue spruce going. And then I'm just going to set this one on top. This is the one that has the balsam cones. I'll just set this on top and get it going here. If we can get it to go on this side over here, it looks like it's gonna. Sort of. There we go. Starting to take off. Pretty sure you guys can see pretty good there. Tilt the camera down just a bit. Is that better? There you go. So it's taking off pretty good. Let's see if that continues. Yeah, it's going pretty good. And I think if I put some paper in there with it, it would be even better. Paraffin or some petroleum, something like that. Dip them in petroleum would probably help, but it's taking off pretty good. So there's that bag. So let's set that one on there. Set this one here. Set this one here. This one over here. I'm going to grab a bunch more here. Grab these white pine cones. Ooh, it's getting hot fast now. There you go. So I should have did white pine cones in a bag. That probably would have made a huge difference. Oh, we got some explosions going now. I'm going to push some of these in closer to the fire here. But as you can see, it's a totally natural material. I haven't made anything. I haven't spent any time pouring paraffin or anything like that. It's just pine cones, all it is. Just pine cones. And apparently they burn pretty good. Yeah, they're... Ooh! Explosions. They kind of did some poof in there. So as you can see, the white pine cones are clearly the winner. So that's probably the ones you're going to want. Now I'm going to take the red pine cones. We're going to put some of those in here. I'll put these over here. See if I can get them into the fire without getting burned again. And I've burned these before, so I know they work. Just got to get them in close enough here to where they're going to take off without having them roll out. That's the problem, is they roll so good. So if you guys have ever used pine cones just for a fire starter in a bag, or if you've ever just taken a pile of them and lit them up, let me know if you've done this kind of stuff before. 'Cause I have lots of times. I've used pine cones lots of times when I'm outside and I can't find birch bark or something like that, or there's not a lot of real small kindling. I've taken pine cones quite a few times and piled them up and got them to go pretty good. But you can see they're burning all by themselves really well. So there you go, pine cones, pretty awesome. Next, we're going to add on some of these balsam cones. Let's do this. There you go. Let's see how those do. I got those on the mix. There is a lot of smoke because there's not enough coals to make the smokeless stove be smokeless. But I can see everything in there. If you guys can see, they're all starting to burn now. They're all taking off. So I think what it's time to do, as soon as we're having fun with this, is it's time to light it up. We're going to take all of the white pine cones, put those in. Then we're going to take all the spruce cones, put those in. And then we're going to take all of the red pine cones, put those in. And I think, if I can see here, it looks pretty much like I'm smoking the whole neighborhood out right now. Now I've got all these cones, red pine, white pine, spruce. There's some needles in there. Ooh, I kind of almost smothered it with all the deliciousness I'm putting out. And I still have another half a bucket full here. But they're going to take off. I got to move the camera because the flames are coming right up to the camera now. There we go. Now she's really rolling. So the experiment was a success and a failure. I'd have to say I was not impressed with the balsam cones or the blue spruce cones. I'm sure they're going to burn, but as far as a fire starter, the white pine was the best, probably followed by the red pine. I do not have any jack pine, which is also native to my state here. Jack pine, very similar in cones to the red pine, a little smaller. They open up very nicely also and are nice and light, and they light very easy. We've got some smoke happening. I hope nobody's outside downwind here. It's cooling off, so I'm hoping everybody went inside for the night because the sun just set a little while ago. And we've got some flame going. So we're going to dump on the rest of these now. So I'll have all of the cones in, which is basically, it's going to end up being, once it's all in here, two, I almost put it out. So I did put it out. Look at that. There was a bunch of sand in there. It'll get going again. 2 5-gallon buckets is what I had in there. That is some major smoke. I think I overdid it a little. I've never done that before in my life. Never overdone anything. I think I'm going to go get my, I have a leaf blower I'm going to go get. Get some air in here. That's all it took. Had to get some oxygen. Oh, give it a little more. That is amazing. What a little oxygen will do. Just tipping it down slowly. That's all I got for juice. I did a whole bunch of leaf blowing before, and I'm out of juice. Now it's going pretty good. Not too shabby. I'm gonna put this on time lapse now, and you guys can see this burn down. Look at that. This has been a very hot fire, and the age-old question that has been plaguing man for centuries has now been answered. How long will 2 5-gallon buckets of pine cones burn? The answer is over half an hour. This has been burning now. I lit it 35 minutes ago, and it's still really hot. I mean, nice bed of coals. So if you want to start a fire and have a nice bed of coals, pine cones, pretty cool. You can see there's some there that haven't even burned at all yet. They didn't light up. So it is time for me to add some wood to this baby. So let's put some on. All right, it is time to put some wood on. Now that we got a nice bed of coals. I've got some locust here, some pine, some ash, a little bit of everything. So hopefully it'll take off. Now, I do this a lot of nights, and I don't record them all the time, but right now I have my laptop out here, as you can see, and it is on my lap, and I am answering your comments from today's video. So hopefully this thing will take off here. I don't know if I got any more juice in my blower here. See if I can get it to, see if it'll go here. Well, that's a good way to get some coals on yourself. There we go, got a little flame. Had a few sparks fly out too. All right, I better put that down before I hurt myself. Here we go, we're back to flames. Nice. Uh-oh, could have tragedy here. Nope, didn't get any ashes in my drink, that's good. All right, back to answering comments, and I'm gonna listen to the snap, the crackle, and the pop of the fire. So there you go. We got a nice fire from pine cones, and now I added some wood, and I'm going to sit out here for, see, right now for me it is 7:33, and I'm going to sit out here probably till midnight working on videos just for you guys. So there you go. That's all I got for today, folks. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. Good night, Irene.